Here I am. We are back. We're going to be bringing Ricky Hellard in here for the second hour with him. And we're going to bring him in right now and get started.
What's going on?
Welcome back.
Thank you.
We were talking about Old South Pittsburgh Hospital. We were talking about Waverly Hills. We talked a little bit about Bachelor's Grove. And I just told you that's not the best place to go anymore because it's not that haunted anymore. Between the Cook County taking care of it better, and me telling a lot of the daytime ghosts to do other things besides hang around a crummy old cemetery, the place isn't that haunted anymore. I've had people tell me, and I'm talking about quite a few people, have told me over the last few years since I left 6 years ago, that the place is just, there's not that much activity there. You don't have as many people going there. So it used to on a spring, early summer or fall weekend, especially on a Sunday, there was a stream. You go on the path down to the cemetery. It was there were several people going in one direction, several people coming back out the other direction, all day long.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not having that anymore. And you know yourself that when the number of people stop walking through, there's no power near the place. There's no way to really get energy. When the people stop coming in there getting energy, you don't have the negative energy with the headstones being defaced. And a lot of the paranormal people have moved on. A place slows down, and they don't have the energy. It's not as active anymore. Bachelor's Grove is not the place to go like it was 7, 8, 10 years ago.
Right. I think
and
a lot
of that's my fault. Sorry.
As far as activity, this goes for any location, say big locations like Waverly Hills too. With all those people coming in and out, the thousands of people, that visit there, they're constantly going in asking the same questions and, using these spirits as, circus acts, oh, move this, do this, do that. Sometimes they just get sick of it and they're like, you know what? Time to move on. Yeah. I don't want to talk tonight.
And right at the end, I was talking to the child spirit and her mother. Occasionally, occasionally a couple of siblings that also died young would stop by there. And, he had a little bit of activity. There's also a lady, you know what ghostwriting is, don't you?
Yeah.
Not authorship, but, when you're writing in a whole different penmanship than you normally use.
Yep.
She was communicating with a Civil War veteran that's buried there.
Oh, nice.
And so there was communication going, and everybody at about the same time stopped going. And I forgot to turn off my air conditioner. Let me go turn it off. The compressor just kicked off. Give me about 10 seconds.
Yeah, you're good.
The compressor kicked off and reminded me, wait a minute, that thing's still running. Anyway, but at least it got cool. I ran it long enough for the compressor to kick off. So it feels a lot better than it did 10 minutes ago in here.
That's good.
But, that's the thing about it. Old South Pittsburgh Hospital, you got so many people going in there. Mm-hmm. And you got so much activity going on in Waverly Hills that's what keeps the place active.
Yeah.
If you've only got a ghost on every once in a while. But again, like you were saying, which why I fully agree with you, someplace like Bobby Mackey's, where they're running 2 or 3 tours through a night, asking the same old questions.
Yeah.
They get bored, they get tired, and they're just not into it.
Right.
Now, the only time I heard that Bobby Mackey's really gets active now is when a group goes in there and tries to talk bad to the spirits.
Yeah, no, that's something I don't live by. I don't believe in the provocation.
I don't go with provocation. And I've heard that when somebody says some provocative things, they don't get anything themselves, which is a way to treat provocative people. You just ignore them. But a lot of times they will come back and take it out on the group that comes in after them.
Yeah. And that's what people don't realize. Just because, and I've had this, I'm not naming names or anything, but I was at a location, and I had somebody, do something stupid and negative, and I ended up paying the price, and I didn't even do anything. It. Yeah, you have to have the mindset when you go in. Your actions have consequences, just like life, but also you're dealing with supernatural forces that you don't know. We don't have the answers in the paranormal field. You don't know what you're dealing with.
Don't.
You don't know the power.
No.
You
don't even know who you're talking to.
Exactly. So you have to be careful going in there, and that's why I'm saying that's why I always go in with a neutral, open mind, and I go in with respect, because in the end, spirits know your intentions, and they, like I said, they know you better than you know yourself, and they may know something that will scare the shit out of you that you don't even know you're scared about, or scared of.
Yeah, a lot of them know your name before you walk in there.
No.
I talked to one person a couple of weeks ago, and she said if you just go into a room or a building and you just breathe, just take in and blow out a breath, the spirits know everything there is about you.
Right. And
speaking
of that, I forgot like crazy. The craziest thing, I actually have a nickname at Old South Pittsburgh Hospital. If you ever heard the term Tri-City Sprinter, they're talking about me because one of my crazy incidences in the hospital. I was with another investigator friend of mine, Tim. We were locked down in the Tri-City Clinic area in the most active spot, and of course, my good friend Ronnie had to put me in the most active and the oldest spot on a cot.
Of course. What are friends for?
About 70 feet. So this is where it gets funny. So in that split where the Tri-City Clinic splits off into the ER, there is a narrow doorway that kind of opens up. It's like a little small little corridor, and that's like the intersection. Mind you, they call it shadow hallway because it's a shadow play, but it's also pitch black dark. Like if you put your hand over your eye, you can't see nothing. So we're sitting down there. 45 minutes goes by, I'm doing okay, but I heard disembodied voices, which were caught on audio, clearly talking under my friend as he's talking. You can hear two different voices. It's insane. Well, at one point, I got sick, like felt like I had to vomit, and I told my friend, he's like, "Oh, just chill, try to, lean forward or lay down." I was like, I can't. I feel like I'm gonna puke if I move, so I just kind of went like this, and then I got real calm. And I'll never forget it. Something approached me from the doorway around the corner at the end, and it sounded like somebody clearing their throat or growling. I'm not going to say growling. It's more like clearing their throat or trying to get you. Holy shit. I literally jumped from a seated, slumped over position. My phone flew out of my pocket. All my equipment, I mean, it was in my pocket, and it fell out, smacked the floor. We had a DVR camera on me at the time. They have it on file. I can't wait for them to pull that. I'm putting it out there for everybody to see. It's hilarious. But my big old self literally covered 70 feet in 3 or 4 strides. And I didn't hit the door. I thought I was going to hit something. I missed the DVR camera they had set up. I missed the narrow doorway. I don't know how, but that's where the term came from. I'm not one of the ones to run. But that spirit knew exactly what to do to get a reaction out of me, and oh boy. So I regained myself, and I laughed. I said, well played. You got me this time. Holy crap. So in the future, I plan on doing part 2 lockdown, just myself down there. So that's going to be interesting. I'm going to try to do it live. That way, if anybody witnesses me getting taken out by a ghost, it's on film.
Exactly.
But
if you're down there by yourself, you gotta have a camera running.
Oh yeah. Even though you may not catch anything, there's always that 1% chance, and I'm the same way. I always have mine right next to me when I have it, and it's rolling. Because I've actually caught some, even though I didn't catch anything moving, I've actually caught some stuff that actually can be backed up on audio too. So it's crucial to have video 100%.
Mm-hmm.
And then you catch
when I got locked into when I got locked into a wax museum for 2.5 hours by myself, lights off.
Oh wow!
in the French Quarter in New Orleans.
Oh,
And what I did, I just kept, you know what Ecovox is?
do what?
Yeah, you've heard of Ecovox, right?
Yes, yes.
And Ecovox.
Yep.
I had it on. I had a camcorder, a full spectrum camcorder on my hand, and I kept those both going most of the time. Of course, the batteries will run down on the camcorder,
Right.
but I had those running most of the time for that 2.5 hours.
Oh wow!
As I walked around this quite haunted wax museum that's now closed. In fact, it was started to be. They started tearing it down on Sunday.
Wow.
Sunday and Monday they were there. They had by Monday after lunch walked by there, and there were people walking out with stuff. Everything was for sale, and they just opened up. Some people came in Sunday and were picking up stuff. That place was empty, and now they built some condos. They kept the facade up as the same. So from street level still looks the same, except you got condos built up there now.
Wow. Yeah, I've heard. I got a friend that
that's what I did.
French Quarter. It's nuts.
But go ahead.
Yeah, he's just told me that in that area, especially the French Quarter, it's pretty paranormal.
I've investigated slave quarters, a couple of hotels, including the 2 nights investigating the Andrew Jackson Hotel.
Oh wow!
And the old French Quarter Wax Museum.
Damn.
I've also done a little bit in the Pirate Bar, which is over there in Pirates Alley next to the big church. And I've also done a little bit of investigating in the Lafitte Blacksmith Bar.
I've heard about the blacksmith. My friend Howard told me about that area.
The wife wants to, next time we go down there, probably in the next couple of years, we're going to be staying at the Lafitte Hotel across the street from Lafitte, the bar, which is haunted itself. They got a haunted staircase there. So every night, you know what I'm going to be doing? I'm going to walk around the hotel investigating.
Yep.
And I'm going to try to talk them into letting me get up in the office area, because the office area is haunted over at Lafitte's, and try to stay over during the week is when we'll be going, when they're not doing a whole lot in the bar, and just let me investigate, while somebody's there closing the bar down. At least let me roam around for an hour or two while they're shutting down.
Right.
And I think that would be a lot of fun. And staying at the hotel, of course, gives me an in. I'm staying at the hotel across the street. I'm right here, so
right.
They know who I am. They've got me registered over there, so I'm not going to steal anything from you or do anything wrong. And just see where it gets me.
Yeah, you never know. That'd be cool.
You never know. Yeah, so that's what I'll be trying to do in the next couple of years. What are you going to be doing in the future now? You talked about some past investigations. What you got coming up?
Some big things with the old South Pittsburgh family. Now have another location, another hospital, Harriman Hospital. So make sure you follow that on Facebook. They're taking bookings now. So
where is this located?
28,000 square. Harriman
Hospital. It's what?
Harriman Hospital. Yeah, it's in Tennessee. It's I want to say, I think it's closer to Knoxville, but yeah, it's over 120. I think it's either 128 or 126,000 square feet. It's insane, and it's in really, really good condition. I mean, it's a lot better condition than what OSPH was, and I can't wait to get over there and do some stuff there, some volunteer work. So that's part of the OSPH family. But the future for me, I do it as I can, I can investigate as I go whenever I can now. But with work, it kind of ties me down a little more. But I'm always open to collabing with other people. I just recently did one of my favorite places here in Indiana, Kosciuszko County Jail. That's known for audio. I haven't gone through the audio yet. I'm gonna plan on doing that when I get some more free time. But we had a pretty good night there. But future is just whatever I can get into. I'm gonna get back over to Gettysburg, do some more stuff over there. I love Gettysburg. That's like my another place that I hold dear in my heart.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm a huge Civil War buff. Like I love
Okay. Let me inform you.
do what?
Oh, really? Okay.
Oh yeah.
We'll
Oh,
get back to that. We'll get back to the Civil War in a minute. Uh,
cool.
do have you ever heard of Ghost Biker Explorations on YouTube?
Yes, I've heard of that.
Okay. Subscribe to her channel. You might want to get on her show because y'all are very close. She in Northern Tennessee. She has a jail that her and her friend run and open it up for
Oh no.
paranormal investigations.
Oh sweet. I love old jails.
So,
I've been to a lot of really cool ones. I don't know if you're familiar.
Try to
with
contact her. Of who?
John Dillinger, mobster in the 20s, 30s. Right.
Okay.
Well,
all right. Okay. Never mind. Yes, I am slightly familiar with them.
well, Crown Point Jail, the Old Lake County Sheriff.
Been there.
I do a lot of
Been there.
stuff up there, so I want to give them a shout out. They just started doing their tours, so get with Sandy and Jackie, have an awesome tour, and all their awesome staff there. But I've investigated that place, and that is my favorite jail in Indiana. That's crazy.
It's been about 7-8 years since I've been there, and that's some crazy location.
Oh yeah,
like I said,
it's something different.
Talk to I believe her Amanda, I think her name is, or the Ghost Biker. Talk to her. Okay. You might want to explore that jail there. As far as John Dillinger's, reason I just lost it was because you ever heard of Richard Crowe?
Yes, the name does ring a bell.
Yes, he was the godfather of paranormal in Chicago.
Okay.
Everybody wanted to work with him. He gave tours for decades up there. He died several years ago. But about a year before he died in June. John Dillinger was killed in July. So he was having his John Dillinger event where we would meet at a bar across the street from the Biograph. And he would go out and with the crowd and a bagpipe band, believe it or not.
Oh, wow.
In front of the Biograph and be standing in front of the Biograph at the exact time, only anniversary date of his killing.
Whoa.
And would time it. John Dillinger, he'd say John Dillinger was walking out about now, turned left on the sidewalk, and we'd start walking at a pace like somebody would in a crowd. And he would be talking the whole time about what was going on. He would get to the alley where John Dillinger fell and say he was shot about here. He staggered and fell dead at this spot right here.
Wow.
And would pour a beer on the same spot where John Dillinger fell. And then the whole group would sing, and then he would have a lady in red contest where anybody who wanted to enter it and wore a dress could enter it and be voted upon and win a prize with the crowd right there in front of the alley.
That's insane. I bet that was an experience. I bet the energy alone was insane.
Oh, by the way, there's a little trivia thing here. You always heard the lady in red. That's been the cliche for years. Yep. She was not wearing red. There in that year, a lot of women were red. That's like saying, "Oh, look for the guy wearing the baseball cap," and you're at a ball game.
Right.
That's about the same thing. Everybody's got a baseball cap on. What she said, I'll be wearing an orange dress, which was very unique. There's very few people who would wear an orange dress even then. Not many people wear orange dresses now.
Right.
But when she walked out on the neon, the problem the cops, the FBI had of identifying was that they walked out, they were looking for a red dress. The neon lights under the marquee at the biograph, even today, makes a orange dress look red.
Wow, that's something I didn't know. That is awesome. That's strange.
That's a little trivia about John Dillinger. He was only identified by the FBI, who was close enough to see him. Okay, that's him. Because the other people in the cars struggled because they were looking for a red dress. They didn't see a red dress. Not with a guy.
Wow.
Excuse me. They were looking for an orange dress, and all they saw was red dress. They were looking for an orange, and there was no orange dress there because it made it look very red. And that Richard Crowe was that kind of awesome guy. He explored Bachelor's Grove many times with no tools. You couldn't go back there at night, supposedly. There's a bridge right there because the creek that runs by the cemetery goes up under the highway. He was standing at the bridge in the middle of the night, just observing the place to see what he could feel and see at night.
Wow.
Everybody tried to get on his tours. He was known across the country, and some people from out of country would come to his tours in Chicago. He was a very amazing guy.
I know the name sounds super familiar, but I didn't know that's who that was. Oh, wow.
I got to spend at the last event, John Dillinger event, I got to spend 2.5 hours talking with one of the greatest minds in the paranormal, one-on-one, and nobody got to do that. Nobody.
That's awesome. Holy cow.
And I learned quite a bit from him, and then I helped him out with this last event. And of course, we had no clue that he had prostate cancer and a few other things that double teamed him. And the next June, when he was busy planning for the next July, he was hospitalized, and he spent a week or two in the hospital and died.
That's sad. Damn.
Yeah, and of course, I got to go to his funeral. He's buried out there in a popular cemetery where a certain hitchhiker used to be hiking the roads. You've heard of Resurrection Mary.
I've heard. I don't know the story, but that does the name.
He's buried in Resurrection Cemetery.
Okay.
Out there where all that happened, on one of the most haunted roads in the area, or Arch Avenue, which runs right by Resurrection Cemetery.
Oh wow!
And we had a great big wake at the Chet's Melody Lounge, which is the bar where they keep a Bloody Mary on the bar in case Resurrection Mary, the ghost hitchhiker, comes in there like she did once.
Oh wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, and I got to investigate the basement of that place, which was rare. You didn't do that either. And in fact, when I left the Chicago area, they had a big goodbye party for me in Chet's Melody Lounge.
Damn.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
We had a great time. We had a good time. I actually helped run a couple of events there. We had a couple of events on Saturday nights, and we would tune the TV from the normal sports to Me TV, and we'd watch Swinguli. If you ever watch Me TV and watch Swinguli, it's usually a scary movie. He comes on.
Okay.
And we just had a good paranormal time. You can imagine 25 or 30 paranormal investigators, people interested in the paranormal, all in the same room.
Oh yeah, that's the thing I like about the field. That I mean, it brings so many people together. When you get with other people, it's just that's why I love these, like, the events like New Jersey Paranormal Expo. I haven't been yet. It's on my bucket list. I want to get there. But events like that, we had DeadCon here in Fort Wayne. So I met my childhood heroes, kind of childhood, Ghost Hunter crew. That was cool. Shout out to Destination Fear too. They are probably some of the most personable people I've ever met in the paranormal field. Dakota and them, they're really, really cool. And just a couple other people. But I love just getting together with people from all over and just sharing and talking. You know that
Yes,
I love it.
that's the best. That's the best part of going to a Paracon.
Yeah.
If you go
Or
to a
even
good one,
like the celebrity events, like when Brian and Rochelle and Mustafa did the thing, we had people coming from all over the United States, and you get in a room with them, you learn about, you make new friends. It's awesome.
it is. You learn of new places, you learn of new things. Like I was just telling you about Richard Crowe. Now you can look him up and read a
Yeah,
little his personal history.
definitely ring a bell. I never knew much about him. That's awesome. I'm gonna look
That,
into it.
that's why it actually brought a tear to my eye when you mentioned you've heard of John Dillinger. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, tell you one other quick thing about that event that night. I went and did an investigation. It was during daylight hours, but I did a paranormal investigation using equipment before Richard Crowe's event.
Oh wow.
And then when everybody disbanded, I went back into the alley, set up my equipment again, and did a post-event investigation. So I turned it into a paranormal event.
Yeah, that's awesome though.
There. And you also brought up in the last hour Civil War.
Yes, that is.
And I want you to let me tell you one thing I did, and then we can get to what you've done in the Civil War, because you're in a hot spot of the Civil War in Chicago, and you may want to look this up since you are a Civil War buff. Look up "To Die in Chicago" is the name of the book.
Okay.
By George Levy. I think his books are still available on Amazon.
This is
"To Die
what
in
I'm
Chicago"
reading now.
by George Levy. Ah, yes, that's a good one too.
Yeah, it's really, really well written too. But yeah, I got all sorts of artifacts. I got a Union.
Oh, okay.
These two, well, all three of these were actually found in Gettysburg. This
Wow.
one right there, over there, that's a 2-ringer. It's actually found on my friend's property. He lives right before Gettysburg, and it was actually a Confederate encampment. You can also investigate it too.
Okay.
Haunted Trails of Gettysburg. Look them up.
Okay. But get that book, because it's a story of the prison camp in Chicago. People forget there was a major prison camp, one of the largest they had up north, where between 4,000 and 6,000 Confederate soldiers died.
Oh, wow.
In 4 years.
Damn.
Because it didn't open up for prison camp until 1862. So from 1862 to 1865, much after the war, before they finally got rid of the last prisoner there, about fall of that year, between 4,000 and 6,000 prisoners died there. And I got to investigate the place and got George Levy to show his slideshow of the photos that were taken there.
Oh, wow.
At location. He said it was one of the creepier things he'd ever done. He was not a big ghost guy. He was just an author. But to actually be showing his slideshow and giving an hour-long presentation of what happened at Camp Douglas on the Camp Douglas site, he said was just downright creepy.
Yeah. I mean, the energy, I can only imagine. You're familiar with Andersonville? The prison? I spent a lot of time there.
I'm from Columbus, Georgia.
Right. Yeah. I know you know that. Yeah. Oh my God. Like I had several paranormal experiences there. In the stockade, I've heard voices talking. We got an EVP a long time ago. On one of my first recorders I ever started, I asked what side of the war you were on. Like the question, and you hear a man's voice come through and it says Dixie. I was like, holy crap. My first actual like full-bodied apparition experience that I can fully vividly remember like it was yesterday was actually at Chickamauga Battlefield. I saw a Confederate field officer, cavalry, in the gun collection room area. He literally walked through a crowd of people. Made contact with me, eye contact, tipped his hat, walked into a wall, and was gone.
Wow.
So I don't know, and it's everywhere I go. I'll draw the Civil War soldiers out. It's the strangest thing. We have one at Old South Pittsburgh Hospital, a Confederate guy that of course Chickamauga didn't happen too far. It's about less than 30 miles from Old South Pittsburgh Hospital.
Been there.
Yeah,
as a kid,
and
there's all kinds of spirits walking around that battlefield. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Everybody wants to go to Gettysburg. Chickamauga didn't have the number of people killed, didn't have the energy of Gettysburg, but you've still got spirits walking around that place.
Oh yeah. I remember I actually saw that was another full bodied apparition. I was riding with my friend Melody. We just got done investigating walking through Sachs Bridge. You can't really investigate Sachs Bridge anymore because it's a tourist trap. Like everybody's there, you know. And it's really not that haunted. I mean, I've been there a few times. It's just one of those bridges that both sides pass through. There was no hang-ins or anything like that. But we went to that suicide bridge, and I had to get out of there. I didn't like the vibes there. Bad shit's happened there. Dark stuff. But we were coming back, and we were driving through the park of Gettysburg, and it was up on the Angle area, right adjacent from where Pickett's charge started. And I saw a Confederate soldier wearing what they wore about that time of the year, that late into the war. He had his little button-up, dirty white shirt. I saw his canteen. It was a weird off-gray colored. The strap was literally, it was white. Saw his munitions, his ammo pouch, wearing his farmer hat, and he was just walking with his rifle, walking straight into this field. So I was freaked out. I was like, whoa. She slammed brakes. I was go back. Put it in reverse. Nothing's there. Made a visual where I saw it. Went back. Hiked there the next day. He literally walked right where it's at. There's a bunch of rocks and there's like a little like makeshift fence that they had there. And on the other side of that is an active farm crop that was being cropped at that time. Freaking blew me away. I was like, I told my friend about it. He's like, oh, no, they're probably reenactors. No, reenactors aren't out there at 10 o'clock at night after the park closes, walking into the nothing of darkness. He's completely oblivious. He's just walking. I'll never forget it. I was like, holy crap, I went to Gettysburg and actually saw some. I've heard things, of course, being there, but that's the first time I'd seen something at Gettysburg. It was cool.
Okay, now about Gettysburg, look up Ghost Research Society on their page. Dale Kazmarek, also an expert on Bachelor's Grove, he has been to Gettysburg many times. He goes over there and does tours and tells what happened during the battle. To say nothing of different apparitions he's personally seen there. So look up Ghost Research Society and Dale Kazmarek, and look at some of his old videos that he's taken of Gettysburg. And he will verify you're not the only one who has seen this stuff.
Yeah. I know it was, I mean, it was jaw dropping. The person I saw wasn't even transparent. I mean, it was strange. I knew right then and there. I was like, oh my God, I just saw another Holy Grail. Mm-hmm. It was my second time. That was my second visit to Gettysburg.
My father had a business in an old building in downtown Columbus on Broadway.
Okay. And
the history of the building was during the Civil War, it was a Confederate hospital.
Oh, field hospital. Nice.
Wasn't even a field hospital. This is in town.
Hospital?
Yes. So they had people from that would be injured in the field during Sherman's route, march through Georgia and several other battles over in Alabama, because Columbus is on the river.
Literally on the border.
And they would bring them there. After they've gone through the field hospital, they would bring them there for better care.
Oh, got you. More extensive
hospital
care.
In town. And it was, I saw this as a kid, apparitions coming out, especially out of the basement, because the basement's where they put the worst patients. That's where the basement took people down there to die.
Right.
And his basement was just insane. And now they have the Confederate Naval Museum there.
Yes.
Where they got the old two gunboats. I went there a little over about 6.5 years ago now, working on 7 this summer. But the summer before I left. and was just going through the museum. I said, okay, let me just go through here, so I can go ahead and go and not have any regrets. So I went in there, and they had a little film about an ironclad, a riverboat. Basically, if it's built for the river, it's a boat. If it's built for the ocean, it's a ship. And this is, of course, a boat. And how quickly they would sink, of course. Being iron, of course, you pierce the hull, it's going to go down in a hurry.
Yeah.
And it showed what could occur if one was attacked, had the below the waterline explosion, and sank. And I was watching for just a couple of minutes, and somebody came in there and sat down. Didn't think anything about it. I'm in a museum that's open for business.
Right.
You don't think anything about somebody coming in there and sitting down and watching the same film. It just didn't occur. I did notice they were dressed a little shabby, and I said, was this a homeless person just walking through the museum and have some place where it's cool? Because this is summertime. But just moved on. Movie was over. I went out, started looking at the ships, reading some of the history, and realized this person was doing the same thing I was, walking around the boats. And then the lady who was running the place said, you got about 10 more minutes or something like that, 10 or 15 minutes, whatever it was. Okay, fine. I'll be done. So I started moving toward the door, still reading all the placards and looking at stuff. But I was definitely moving toward the exit. So when it came time, she come up and locked the door. I said, I'm still here. She said, that's fine. We just want to go ahead and lock the door because we're not accepting anybody coming in. Take your time, and we'll unlock it when you're ready to leave. Fine. So I started walking up to the door, and she said she was about to leave. I said, sorry to hold you. She said, well, I don't know. We had to get ready to go, and now we're ready to go. We're about ready to leave. I said, well, you got one other person in the back that's still looking at stuff. She said, what other person are you talking about? I said, there was a guy sat in the movie right when I first walked in, and he's been walking around the whole building since. She said, there hasn't been anybody come in before you for several hours. Again, it was during the week, so there wasn't many people coming in the museum. And she said, nobody came in after you. You've been in this building by yourself with just us for the last hour or two.
Holy shit.
And I saw somebody walk around. She said, well, they weren't human.
She knew.
And so I was sitting there. Yeah, I was sitting there watching a movie and touring a museum and could see this person, like you were talking about, pretty solid. I thought they were just another person walking around the museum like I was, just on an afternoon, just, having a good time, killing an hour or two. And they said I was the only person there.
Wow. That's insane. Oh man. Yeah, it's strange, and it always happens. And that's why I tell people, like, they go on these investigations. Oh my God, they're looking. When you're going to see the Holy Grail, you're not going to experience it. You're not going to be looking for it. And when it happens,
right.
You're going to be, people are like, oh, I'm going to shit my pants if I see a ghost. No, I used to be terrified of the ghosts and spirits. And the paranormal found me growing up. I was always seeing, hearing things. Well, when I had my first experience at Chickamauga, the guy was transparent, but oh my God, I'll never forget it. I had goosebumps, and I was hooked from that very moment. But I didn't care about ghosts. I was there for the Civil War history, and it just, little did I know, I saw history right between my eyes, like right there. Mm-hmm. It was insane. And
I had the same experience.
In that area.
I had the same experience in Chickamauga. Some of the battles around Atlanta and around Chattanooga.
Yeah, Kennesaw Mountain in there.
Yeah, and looking around. Did you ever get to see the? Did you ever get to see the old Panorama in Atlanta?
Nope.
It's talking about these huge paintings that are 25, 30 feet tall.
Holy crap!
And it was in a rotunda, and it was painted in a great big circle anyway. So they had this big painting hanging on the walls all the way around. And what they did, they made it 3D by putting wax figures and models in front of the paintings.
Oh wow.
So you're looking at a painting with models and figurines in front of it. So you can walk around in the beginning when the battle started and walk around all the way to the end. It showed different aspects of the battle. And they had a running voiceover about what happened in the battle.
Oh wow.
And I got to see that as a child. I think it's big clothes. I think it kind of deteriorated. I'm not sure. Or
Probably
people
with
just kind of quit going. That you were never alone in that place.
I don't
And,
doubt.
and that's some amazing stuff there. And I got to do that as a child there as history as a history buff as a child, but also got to experience the paranormal as a child.
Yeah, that's awesome. Can't beat that. I think my first big investigation was Fort McAllister in Richmond Hill, Georgia. That was to protect the outskirts of Fort Pulaski, the marsh area. And that place is such an underrated gem. I've had so many bizarre. I'm talking. I went in there fully skeptic at one point, like, "Oh, there's not." I'm just telling myself, "I'm not going to see nothing. There ain't nothing here." My ex brother-in-law said something. One point at the night, it's high tide came in, natural energy water, and it came up to the point to where it was like 3, 4, maybe 6 feet deep in some spots coming up, and I'll never forget it. He's like, "There's somebody standing over there by that bunker over there," because they had the little bunkers where they would store the explosive stuff. Little dug. It's dug in Confederate fort. Well, long story short, whatever. I'm like, bullshit. And I look over, there's nothing. And all of a sudden, out of the corner of my eye, I see this figure peek out from a tree and then dart at superhuman speed, like 3 or 4 trees down. And then I'm like, okay, no human would be here running that fast at night. And we're over the water. It's not Jesus. So, and it was like a residual battle took place. It was like Sherman came in through the back of the fort again, and it's crazy.
It, some of these battlefields are absolutely insane.
Oh yeah.
Oh, and you were talking about a lot of things that are done by accident. You just go take a picture, you walk in not expecting anything paranormal, and there it is.
Yep.
That picture that we were talking about the last hour, that Dale Casmeric, well, Judy Huff took the picture, but she was a member of Dale Casmeric's group. They have a uh, copyright on that photo,
Oh wow.
and that picture was taken by accident. The close up of the picture is actually a blow up of the negative.
Okay.
It was she was standing halfway across the cemetery, and just happened to pull a camera to her eye and take just a generalized picture. And she had to look at it in the background. She said, "What is this in the background? I don't remember this." And she blew up the negative, and that's what you got was the lady
Oh
sitting on the
wow.
stone. That was totally taken by accident. Exactly what you were talking about earlier.
Well, that's dope.
And that just goes to show you what a right track you are on, which is pretty good, amazing considering your age. You're on the same track as a lot of older people, including myself, where where you do things the right way, you investigate the right way, you think the right way, you act the right way. So just keep on going on the road you're on, and you'll have success in the paranormal.
Yep. That's the thing. That's like I've always thought outside of the box. And of course, like everybody, we all start somewhere. And, the whole orbs and all that stuff. And anybody says, "Oh, I never believed bull." We all were there at one point, somehow, some way. Well, started from there. But as I gained traction, the more investigations I did, I was able to tell, and it's just knowledge I've gathered. And I think outside the box. And it's worked. I don't plan on changing it. The field's ever changing. If you look at the field now, I see nothing but drama, bickering, and attention seeking versus getting down and getting into the nitty gritty of what we really do, which is paranormal investigation. But I gotta give a shout out to Mustafa Gadalari and Brandon Alvis and all their recent projects. Their new show thing they're filming is going to be wicked cool, and it's done about the history. It's done about the theory behind the haunting. If you haven't checked their book out, Formula of Elements of a Haunting. Brandon also has an old series where he's gone to different locations. I think it's Formula of a Haunting. So Elements of Haunting, you can get it on Amazon, stuff like that. But oh my god, it's a must-read book. Such a good book. So I had to plug them. They're some of my favorite people in the field as of late. They're doing the right thing too.
Mm-hmm. Now, one thing you might want to look up Kane Holder.
Okay, that sounds familiar.
He did last year. He filmed and just came out this year. Earlier, like January, February, I believe, the CD came out with the DVD.
Okay.
He did an investigation at a location in South Carolina and filmed it as a documentary.
Oh, nice.
So it was a for real It's a for real investigation. And in February, I had two of the ladies who created it. They were one was the producer, another was an investigator, who appear on that DVD in the investigation, and helped him edit it and film it. They are currently working, and maybe not quite yet, but definitely next month, we'll be filming another documentary at another location. They are not disclosing the location as of yet, but maybe next December, January, they will be releasing another DVD of extreme haunted location. So look up Kane Holder, and you might want to just keep that in your favorites.
Oh yeah,
and go there and see what they've got and be made awares.
Cool.
Kane Holder, if you watch the Halloween movies with Jason.
Oh, Jason, got you. Kane is he played Jason, correct?
He played Jason in all but the first three. All except the first three, I believe. I think from 4 on or from 5 on, he was Jason.
He's huge into the paranormal. Yeah, that's why it rang a bell. I'm more of a Halloween Michael Myers, but I have nothing but respect for the Friday the 13th franchise. Those movies scared me too.
Yeah, Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said Halloween. I meant Friday the 13th, but my bad. But
no, you're good.
There's some good people. So look up Kane Holder. He does some exciting stuff, and he's like me. He doesn't run. I can't. I have not run a step in 12 years because of knee issues.
Right.
And yet now they got him replaced. I can run, but I was warned by multiple doctors, don't start a running routine because you cut the life expectancy of your artificial knees in half.
Right.
And so I'm sorry, I'm not going to train myself to run after not running for so long.
Right.
When all of a sudden I've got to have a knee replacement done every 5 to 7 years. When if I don't run that last 15, I'm sorry, I'm not going to run.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
and at 250 pounds and 65 years old, I'm not going to run very fast anyway. If something's after me, they're going to catch me. So I might as well stand there and let me.
I always say it's like, no, I'll stay and fight. Y'all go ahead.
just bring it on. Attack the front. I'll stick a stick up or hit you over the head with my camera or something. I don't know.
Right.
But I'm long past. If you see me running, try to keep up.
Right.
During investigation,
something's happening.
If you feel like you got to run, or especially if I tell you to run.
Right.
But don't worry about me because I can't run. I'm just basically going to be fighting off whatever it is. And sometimes you end up with a raccoon or an angry cat.
Yeah.
Of course, that scared the hell out of you. Run into an angry cat in dark in the middle of the night.
Oh yeah. Oh, them raccoons will do it too. We had one in 2017. I'll never forget it. There's a raccoon stuck up in one of the ceiling areas, and my friend went and hit the area with it. It hissed, and he left that broom standing straight up and took off down. It screamed like a girl. Took off down the hallway. I was just like, oh my god! It was one of the funniest things I've ever experienced. That broom stood straight up.
Okay, we have almost reached that time.
Cool.
We're 51 minutes. We can only go about 56, 57. So we have at most 5 minutes.
Cool.
Do you want to go a little bit longer or do you not?
Can't tonight.
You pick. It doesn't matter to me.
I got to do to get ready for work. But, I mean, I'm always willing to come back on, too, if you ever need another guest. So
Okay. So we got, like I said, we got about 4 to 5 minutes, 4.5 minutes. What would you like to say to finish up?
Thank you for one. Thank you for having me on. It's been a good one. I enjoyed it. So, also, check me out on YouTube, Panorama Counters, and Facebook. Panorama Counters, pretty simple. You can stay up to date with what I'm up to, and also check out Old South Pittsburgh Hospital and Haunted Harriman Hospital on Facebook as well. Stay up to date. Book your investigations, day tours. Do it. You won't be sorry.
And I will say that Panorama Encounters right here, give me a finger on the screen, right down here below is the link to YouTube and the link to the Facebook page. You can stop the video and type those in, and you'll find Ricky at both places.
Appreciate it.
And if you're on YouTube, whether it's my channel or whether you're talking about Panorama Encounters, like, share, subscribe.
Yes.
YouTube. And that way, and ring that bell and give the up sign because it helps out in the long run, one way or the other. As far as if everything ever gets money, it helps that way.
Oh yeah,
it helps the viewership. It gets you in good with YouTube when you got a lot of thumbs up and you've got a lot of bell ringing.
Yeah,
and of course the bell ringing helps you, helps me, helps anybody else because they get notices. You come up with a new video, you know, it pops up in your notification. So be sure to do that. Ricky's a good guy, and I will be asking you sometime later to appear again. If you've got an upcoming investigation, let me know. If you found some interesting stuff, or want to show some video clips or some photos from Old South Pittsburgh Hospital, or you go to Gettysburg again, just let me know, and we can talk about what you found on your latest trip.
Awesome. Sounds good.
All right. We're going to say goodnight to you.
Night, y'all.
And Ricky, you take care of yourself. You tell everybody I said hello.
Will do. Thank you.
And you next time you go into the hospital, ask them if they've heard of the Archer.
Will do.
I shot an arrow at H.H. Holmes, and everybody, paranormal people, know me as the Archer.
Okay.
And when I say paranormal people, I'm not talking about investigators. I'm talking about the other side.
The other side. Gotcha.
I can go to a location and somebody will say, "Oh, he's the Archer."
Oh wow. Oh, cool. Yeah, I'll definitely ask it.
All right. We'll see you later. You take care of yourself, my friend.
All right. Good seeing you.
Bye-bye. Oh, and anybody who might want to be on the show, give them my
your way. Yeah, sure.
Yes. Send them my way. Just tell them to send me a friend request. If we're not friends, if we're friends already, send me a message on Messenger. That's the best way to get hold of me.
Awesome. Will do. Thank you for having me.
Hey, take care.
Have a good night, y'all.
Being here. Bye-bye. Yeah. All right, that's going to wrap up this show, the second hour with Ricky Hellard. And I hope you enjoyed the show. And we're going to go ahead and get out of here. I can only record for an hour. This is a recorded show. I will show real quick the Para-Unity event, 6th Annual New Jersey Para-Unity Expo, July 23rd of this year. And also show up on Parapsychon 3 at the Ohio State Reformatory on May 20th through 22nd. So if you're in those areas, they got a kind of a common group of guests. Both guest lists are very outstanding. Go there. and get your tickets for those different Paracons. Be very interesting, especially if you go to both. You see a lot of people twice, or you can just go to one, see them once. So if you're in those areas up in New Jersey or you're anywhere near Ohio, go to those Paracons. Have a good time. All right, you take care of yourself, and Bones, get us out of here.
Thanks for watching our show. Be sure to tune in to next week as once again we journey way down south into Bayou Country for another heaping portion of Southern Fried Paranormal with Len Dorman and Bones. Make sure to like, share, and follow.